Today in the garden, we're talking about onions from seed to harvest. Jumping right in, we've got some red and yellow onions. I'm going to start off by propagating. I have an onion, I'm going to split it in two. Here I'm showing you how to get more for less. So without buying seed and just going straight in, I'm going to chop this, put it in the ground, and show you what happens. So here I am demonstrating how to cut the top of the onion. First, you want to get the green stems off. That's the most important thing. Toss those to the side. We'll save that for another video. Take your bulb, pop it in two. Make sure you save those roots. Once you've got your roots established, you just want to go ahead and decide how you want to chop it. I'd slice this one into twos and then again into thirds. So now that I have 3 onions, I'm going to use these and replant them in the garden. First, I'm going to chop the top of those thirds and plant them again. Propagating from bulbs you already have is essential in the garden because it saves time and gives you bigger harvest. I also like to cut down those bulbs just to make it easier to put into the dirt, cover with soil, and ensure that there's no dampness that causes the onion to rot. Once you do that, you end up with these. Do you see how beautiful these are? These were propagated from little nubs and they bloomed and developed so amazing. Look at that. Those are like $2 in the grocery store because they're organic. Cut the stem off. Make sure you take off the dampness. Get those outer layers off if you can. I know some people cringe at that, but it's really important to ensure the onion dries completely. Again, we're going from seed to harvest, and this is just one way. I like to trim mine, give it a little haircut, keep it cute so it doesn't look too gardeny. And, put it upside down and keep it rocking and rolling. So here's another one. One way to know that your onion is ready to harvest is if its stems is tight and also if it flops. So in your garden bed or in the ground, if you see the stem is no longer sticking up, it's like, hey, please take me out. If you don't, you'll end up with something like this, which is a bit soggy. Tight stem, flopping over is what you're looking for. And then it's ready to get a haircut. Once you do that, you want to also just make sure you look it over, see if there's any soggy sides, make sure everything is tight and ready to be put away to be dried. This one doesn't really need anything else because it's pretty tight, so it's all good. I'm just going to check some more of these over. Again, we had a really big harvest of red and white onions, so I want to make sure that everything looks okay before I decide if I'm going to keep and put it on a dry rack or replant it back in the garden and propagate it. Another thing you can do with onions is dry them out completely, which I'll save for another video. You think that's funny? That's my little one. And turn it into a seasoning. So instead of going to the store for those dried onion pieces, you can absolutely dry out a whole onion, put it in your oven, or if you have a dry rack, and just let it do its thing. I like to take my time and look over the onions that we've harvested to see if there's any soft spots or anything that's had some spoilage from the weather or maybe pest. These look to be pretty well wrapped, so they're pretty good to harvest. Here's another one that I'm just looking over, looking at the long roots. If it's pretty dry, if the neck is skinny like I was showing earlier, then I'm going to definitely keep it. If it's a little softer like this one, I'm going to use it to propagate. Nothing goes to waste in the garden. Everything has a purpose and can be reused. For our garden, I like to keep the tops of the greens, especially if it's a pretty good one, even the bulbs, and sometimes I'll dry them completely out in our oven. I don't have a dehydrator yet, but that's soon to come. And I make seasonings, so the tops of the greens are really yummy. I don't know if you have chives, but these are like green onion chives if you just keep them and you don't pull up the bulb. That's what a chive is. But the bottoms, if they're really hardy, keep it. Give the haircut, keep the bottom. Make it to where, it can be used for seasoning. I mean, it's red onion or green onion or yellow onion, whatever you have, but it's really good. You can do lots of things with onions. You can make seasonings, you can make dressings, you can make dry rubs, the list is on and on. It's super fun, easy to do if you have little ones like myself, to let them see what it looks like to take a seed from seed all the way to harvest. Here's another example of an onion that's gotten overwatered either by rain or myself, or maybe it was left too long in the soil. But you can look at it and see, because even as I pull the outer layers, I'm just seeing dampness. The top of the neck is mushy. I'm gonna have to trim this one again because the water tends to travel down. It travels down from the neck all the way to the bulb. And where you can't see is at the very base where my thumb is. If I hadn't cut that, it was gonna end up being a super mushy, spoiled, stinky mess. So once it's good, take off the mushy parts. If it's still good, I mean, I'm going to look this one over some more to see. It might be okay. One thing about onions, there's several layers, so the outer layer can always become reformed. It's an onion. This one, it's no good. Do you see how far down it's gotten mushy? I'm pretty much cutting it right to the bulb. And I'm going to toss that. That's definitely not going to be repurposed. It's going to be used as nutrients for the soil. But here, the roots are pretty strong, so I'm thinking I'm going to use this one to propagate. I'm not going to take the ends off if I'm going to use it to propagate because I don't want to start completely over. Instead, I cut it further down and pretty much start the onion back over like the beginning from a bulb. So I'm going to take this one, cut it down as much as I can, peel the outer layers, probably even split this one into seconds and thirds, I think, because look at it. It's just wet. It's a wet, soggy mess. But I'm going to peel the outer layers, making the inner layers the more newer layers. And I'm going to make sure I get this one pretty good. I'm going to peel it all the way around, taking that mushy stuff off of there until I get to a solid dry layer. I'm going to check the inside. If there's two bulbs, I'm going to split it. So I think there's two on this one. I'm going to go ahead, get my shears, cut this one right down the middle. Again, we don't start from scratch if we don't have to. Give yourself a jump start. Get the biggest bulbs that you can from starting from hardy starts. So typically you want to keep the bottoms. I accidentally ripped this one and took off the roots. But no accident is unfixable. So we're just going to split this one again. Again, we have really hardy roots. Chopping it in two. I guess I'm going to chop the one next to it as well. I'm speeding the video up because it's more so just me making bulbs and starts from all the onions that we have that are, not good enough to eat right now. So while this is happening, I just want to say thank you to all of our listeners, to all of our viewers, to everyone that subscribed, to everyone that has supported our new kitchen garden because it's near and dear to our heart. For those who don't know, our kitchen garden is faith-based, also community-based. So all of our proceeds that we get from our videos and our content actually contributes to our establishment of the garden and then also to feeding families in our local area. So we are really driven by giving, and our harvest that we have from every seasonal crop, we're giving a large percent of it to families that are in need via local churches, food banks, and the Good Samaritan partnership. So we just want to bless others and be a blessing. So thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you have your littles that can see that it is possible to grow something really big and yummy from a seed. Well, that's it for this video. I hope that you subscribe and continue watching as we go on more adventures. Follow us at Kimball Gardens.